Hello there, and welcome to a very special webinar for book creator users and those who are brand new to using book creator in the classroom. Today we are going to do a high school spotlight and talk about using book creator in 9-12 classrooms. My name is Monica Burns, and I am so excited that you're here to join us today for what is the very last one in our summer webinar series. And don't worry if you missed the other ones, I'll make sure to share that info with you too so you can access it and jump into some of the previous webinars that we've done so far this summer. So what I'm going to ask you to do to get started, we'll do some shout outs tonight. Go ahead and find the question box on the GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. You can type in that question box your name, where you're from, and we'll do some shout outs as we get ready to start today. If you can't find the question box or the GoToWebinar control panel seem to go away, you can hit the little orange arrow and that'll open it back up for you. Awesome. Let's see who's here. Welcome, Michael. Great to have you here. Welcome, Ruth. Great to have you here too. We have folks from Poland, folks from San Bernardino. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for this special book creator webinar. If you can't find the question box, it's right there in the GoToWebinar control panel, and that's the area that you'll use today when you have questions as we go through some different activities and we try out some new things together. Welcome, Anna from Texas. So excited that you're joining us live on the webinar today. Whether you're joining us live or watching the recording, I'm excited that you're here to learn a little bit about ways that you can use a book creator in the high school classroom. And that's right, for those of you who are here with us live, we're going to have a recording of this video, this live webinar, so you can watch it and share it and refer back to it even after our time together today. So before we jump into our work together, I'd love to learn a little bit more about all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and push out a few questions. So the first question is, how familiar are you with Book Creator? Choose one from the list. Are you a pro? Have you used it a few times? Are you totally brand new? Go ahead and tell us a little bit about how familiar you are with Book Creator. Okay, so it seems like some of you are brand new. Some of you have used it a few times. Just a couple are pros. So almost 40, so it looks now like just about a third of you, so a little less than 40%, are totally brand new to Book Creator. If you are new to Book Creator, don't worry. I'm going to give you a quick overview, and I'm going to share a link with you. Seen the Getting Started webinar. For those of you who are totally new, I'll make sure to share that link with you as well. All right, our next poll is, have you used Book Creator on Chrome before? We're going to talk a little bit about Book Creator on Chrome, and I want to know if you have used Book Creator on Chrome before. Let's see, I see some votes coming in and on our share screen. So a few of you have tried it out before on Chrome. Awesome. It looks like about 2/3 of you have tried it out on Chrome, so that's awesome. Some of you have only used it on iPads, and then of course there's some of us who are totally brand new to Book Creator. So let's see. Now for this one, you can choose more than one answer because you might support a wide range. We're focused on high school today, but it's always helpful for me to know if you work with or you support other grade levels, as I'll point you to some resources that are friendly for elementary school as well as middle school. So it looks like 100% of you, no surprise today, work with students in 9-12 in high school. And then many of you, about a third to almost half of you, also support K2, 3, 5, and 6, 8. So I know many of those with us today wear a couple different hats when it comes to grade levels you support. And our last question that can help us together for those of you live today is what subject areas do you teach? And if your subject area is not on the list, so maybe you are a media specialist or instructional coach or have another role in your school or building, go ahead and type that into the question box because there might be, it looks like some of you clicked on the other because you do some different work as well. Of those of you who answered within our subject area, looks like almost half of you support English language arts. There's some math, there's some science, there's some social studies too. And we have some librarians, some campus technology specialists who are with us today too. So awesome. Well, I am so excited that you are joining me tonight to talk a bit about what you can do with Book Creator in high school. Remember, as I go through today, I'm going to pause a couple times and you can use that question box to dive into any questions you have, and I'll do my best to address them live tonight as we go through. So, for those of you who haven't connected with me before, my name is Monica Burns. I am a former classroom teacher, a former New York City public school teacher, and I've been out of the classroom for a few years now, writing, blogging, and hosting professional development for teachers in different corners of the US and a couple different spots around the world. And I love Book Creator. I came across Book Creator when it was just on iPads, absolutely loved it, and I can't tell you how excited I am now that it is available on Chrome. So we're going to talk today and share some screenshots of what you can do with Book Creator on Chrome. So we will actually go out to my Chrome web browser. So I'm on a MacBook today, but you can do everything we do on a Chromebook, on a Chrome web browser too. I'm going to take you out and show you a whole bunch of things too. Now I am going to do double duty today of hosting and facilitating the webinar. So that's why you'll see on my keynote presentation, my slides on the left-hand side, and I'll toggle a few times over also to check out the control panel too. So this is the very last one in our summer webinar series for Book Creator, but don't worry, we have recordings of all of them. They're available for you on Book Creator's YouTube channel, or you can head over to bookcreator.com/webinars. If you go to that website, you'll see a list of all the webinars from the summer with links so that you can watch the recordings. They're hosted on YouTube, and you can pick and choose and watch all of them. So as I mentioned when we started today, even though I am going to give you an overview of Book Creator on Chrome for those of you who are totally new, if I go too fast or you want a refresher, you'll want to head over to bookcreator.com/webinars and check out the Getting Started on Chrome Book Creator video. So that webinar is all about getting started on Chrome for Book Creator. So if you've used it on iPads and you want a deeper dive into Chrome, that's where you can head over after our time together today. Know that it's right there waiting for you in Book Creator's YouTube channel, which you can also find at bookcreator.com/webinars. So Book Creator is an open-ended creation tool. You can use it to create and publish books and for a totally customizable experience for your students. So open-ended creation tools, they don't have levels. There's no right answer, no right way to use them. It's really a choose your own adventure. So you can design and make and share a book with the whole world. And so this means it's a really customizable experience for teachers. So students can use this as young as kindergarten all the way up to the high school students we're focused on today. So as we go through and talk about high school today as our lens, you'll think about some of the experiences, some of the ways kids share what they have learned, and we'll talk about it in the context of making ebooks with Book Creator today. So what can you make with Book Creator? Well, the list is long and growing. There are so many things you can create with Book Creator. So it might include digital portfolios where students are gathering all of their very best work from the whole school year, perfect for high school students as they are collecting artifacts to show off as they apply for scholarships or apply to college or show off what they've learned or explore as they look at different trades. You might have students craft poetry books. They might make step-by-step guides to share with interactive. You might have students with learning journals that they are capturing their learning on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. And you might have students create comics, which is something we're actually going to look at today with a middle school lens, or high school, excuse me, high school lens together too. Of course, you can tailor the activities that we look at for middle school, for elementary, you name it, but high school is on the brain today. So, how are teachers using Book Creator? So, teachers are using Book Creator to publish student work, to have kids of all ages demonstrate their understanding, to promote collaboration, something your high school students will be super familiar with if they've been in spaces like Google Docs before, to help set a purpose for learning so your students know that they are impacting the world, affecting change in different ways, and sharing stories with an audience, because they can create for a real group, an authentic audience, and share their ebooks with the world, or more locally if that feels better, using Book Creator. So let's do that quick overview I promised. Now remember, I'm going through this a little bit quickly. If you haven't used Book Creator before, you can head over to bookcreator.com/webinars and watch one of the getting started with Book Creator webinar, so you can see it on Chrome with all those different steps. So when you first go to app.bookcreator.com, where you go to access Book Creator on the web, you have options of different shapes of books to choose from. I often choose the landscape shape when I'm showing off Book Creator because it fills up the whole screen. So here we go. Here's a cover for a book in that 4x3 landscape shape. Well, as soon as you hit that plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, you can add different things to the cover as well as to the individual pages of your book. So you can import images, you can import video and sound, you can snap pictures with the camera, you can use the pen tool to draw, the text button to add text to the page, and the record button to add your voice and attach it to any page in a book. So when you click on the plus sign and then hit import, you get a screen that looks like this one. You can search for a picture using a Google image search. The results that are shown are labeled for commercial use with modification. So you can search for something. You can even choose which color palette or what type of image you want, whether it's something that is more like clip art or something that's more like a photograph. You can tap on it and add it to your page. Now you can also choose a file from your computer, or if you connect your Google Drive account, you can search for something and add it from Google Drive too. Now, once that picture's on your page, you can tap on it so you have the blue corners. You can spin it around with the green dot to get it to be the perfect size and layout on your page. You can use that pen tool to draw an illustration or write your name like you see here. You can use the text tool to add text to your page. You can add different colors to the back of your page too, so that it's just right and connected to your theme, something your high school students will definitely understand. And then you can record your voice and add it to the page. That way, if anyone taps on the page of your interactive book, they can listen to your voice recording on the page. And don't forget, there's also the Shapes tool, which you can use to add extra elements to your page. Now, some of the reasons teachers choose Book Creator as their publishing tool for students is because those pages are interactive. Students can combine a wide range of media, making it perfect for differentiated products for students. There's accessibility support built right in, which is so important, whether your students themselves as consumers of content need special accessibility features, or whether they're creating for an audience with accessibility in mind. It's something really special about Book Creator that you don't see in all ed tech products. And the final piece, the book that students create, is shareable. Their work product can be shared online with the whole world to see, downloaded as an EPUB or PDF file for offline viewing. So lots of reasons why teachers are choosing to use Book Creator. Now, tonight we're focused on a special group of students, high school students. So our spotlight is really all about using Book Creator in 9-12 classrooms. Of course, some of the ideas that I share you could really focused on is making sure that your high school students can connect with authentic audiences, that they can build portfolios to show off their learning and share it with different audiences that are particular to high school students, like scholarship committees or applications that they are putting together for college or programs for after they finish their high school degree, and so that kids can make dynamic products that connect to the different types of electives that high school students have. So, something important to think about when we are thinking about this subgroup. So, tonight, when we talk about high school students, we're thinking about students in grades 9 through 12, so what is traditionally thought of as high school, or students who are ages 15 to 18, ready to graduate with a degree, either to move on to college education, to start a career, to jump into a technical school or program, that are finishing up their education in a traditional school and ready to go on to different things. So today we're talking about students that fall into this category, and there are some certain book creator features that you'll absolutely want to leverage with your high school students. You'll want to make sure that you explore different text structures. So if an elementary school student is using this book, they might put a sentence on their page. But what's wonderful about Book Creator is that your students can fill up the pages with text, just like the books that they're used to reading independently. So you can have deep conversations about text structure with your students. Your students can also add video and images to the page. Instead of just searching or curating images, I would encourage you, working with your high school students, to capture video, to capture images that connect to the topic they're writing on, and import those into their pages. Students in high school can also leverage the audio and embed feature. What's really great about Book Creator is it gives you two special audio options. The first is to record right in the moment using the record feature on the page. The second option is to import audio files. So if students have captured audio like an interview with a community member, or they have recorded a narration ahead of time, they can import that file, that audio file, and add it to their page and still get that same play button with an audio recording. Now, if you haven't heard the news, this summer Book Creator announced a special embed feature that allows students, which is perfect for high school, to embed iframe codes if they've created something like a widget on another tool. We'll talk about that a little bit today, and I'll share with you some ways that you can get more information about this special embed option. There are also some important app smashes that fit perfectly for high school students. An app smash is a term that we use when we are combining the very best of two or more different types of tools. So, for example, your students might capture or edit or create a video in a different tool, and then they might bring in that media that they've created onto a page in Book Creator. We'll talk more about that as we think a little bit about portfolios together today. So when we're thinking about high school app smashes, students might be taking part in word processing, so typing up a traditional report, a lab report. They might be typing up a 5-paragraph literary essay or a persuasive or argumentative piece of writing. When they take all of the words that they've typed on a page and paste them right into Book Reader, they can make that text structure set up in a way that is really perfect for sharing in an authentic manner, more responsive in terms of sharing with an audience than a traditional report. Your students might also create or narrate slideshows. So if they're working a Keynote or PowerPoint and they've made a slideshow, they can include a video recording of them moving through the slideshow, a popular app smash for high school students. And of course, one of the best app smashes for high school students is content curation. That means they've gone out and they've found the perfect Google map that's going to connect to their social studies and science project, and they embed it on one of their pages. Or they go and they find a perfect YouTube video and they bring that in to highlight some of the research they've done on a particular project. Remember, when it comes to high school app smashes, it's really all about showing off student work. Now, when it comes to some popular products that are especially notable for our high school audience, students can create portfolios that show off all of their work from the whole school year or maybe their entire high school career. They can also take a traditional report and make it interactive, full of different types of media using Book Creator. And of course, if your students are taking part in project based learning, PBL, learning experiences, well, then they can take the opportunity of capturing all the steps that they followed, all the parts of their project, and showing off the process and their final product with Book Creator. And of course, so much more. So I want to hear from you now. Find that question box again on the right hand side of your screen to share what types of products do your high schoolers create. Maybe it's with a tool online, maybe it's something more traditional, but go ahead and type in that question box. What are some type of products that your high school students create? Let's see some of the things that came in. Book reports from Cheryl, awesome. That's a great one that you can try out. Slides presentation, awesome, Anna, super popular for high school students. Brett mentioned character comparisons. Ruth mentioned journal prompt books with images. Absolutely. Lana mentioned art portfolios. Yep, so many different types of products high schoolers can create. So keep those in mind as we go through. Now, we couldn't talk about Book Creator and high school students without giving a shout out to fellow Book Creator ambassador Michael Hernandez. He recently published a free ebook all about Book Creator for the high school classroom. You can access it on the web because it's created with Book Creator, or you can download it for offline viewing. If you want to see his book, which I'm going to reference a couple times during our time together today, you can access it by going to bit.ly/book creator high, and you'll be able to find that web page hosted on the folks by the folks on Book Creator so that you can download this free ebook. Okay, so what kind of activities are we going to spotlight together today? Well, we're going to look at English language arts, science, math, social studies, foreign language, things that you can tailor to a variety of subjects and different content areas. And I hope that as I go through and share some activities and take you out on the web to do this in action, that you'll type in that question box any ideas or things that come to mind that connect to your work with high school students. So let's start off first thinking about the English language arts classroom. Now, you might have students create books for reading and writing activities, speaking and listening activities, a variety of texts so that they can create authentic products to share. So there's lots of things that happen in the English language arts classroom in high school that you can enhance and elevate with Book Creator. You might have students going ahead and creating different types of products in Book Creator that connect to your specific writing goals. You might have them respond to reading activities, or you might be focused on speaking when it comes to capturing voice or listening if you are having students interview and take that as part of a research project. So lots of different text types to explore and lots of ways to publish and share student work. Dr. Beth Holland wrote an awesome blog post for the folks at Book Creator. I put that book creator bit.ly link down at the bottom, all about adding accessibility features for an audience. So in the English language arts classroom, if your kids are creating books that are connected to their particular topics that you're studying in ELA or beyond, they can add accessibility features. So in an elementary school classroom, this is a conversation that you can absolutely have, but when it comes to high school students, this is something that really could be seen as a non-negotiable. Having kids publish their writing so that it is really ready for a whole audience to explore. And you can do that by adding some accessibility features like Dr. Holland shares in her blog post for Book Creator. You can also make sure that students are adding narration for an audience. They can do this by clicking on the plus sign and hitting the record button at the bottom. Of course, if they've pre-recorded narration and saved it as an MP3 file, they would hit the import button at the top. So when they hit the record button, you'll see a screen that pops up like this. They can talk and talk and talk and add their recording to the page. I usually encourage students and the teachers that I work with to keep their narration short and sweet. Of course, there's the read to me feature in Book Creator, which makes it ready to go and ready to read. But I think that a personal narration is great. And if your high school students are creating something for a wider audience, I would encourage them to add narration to each page. Now, you can also import sounds onto pages, as I mentioned. Remember, you'll click the import button right here at the top. When you do that, you'll come to this page, which gives you a lot of options. In this case, you'll want to click on Files and add something that's from your computer, or click the Drive button and add a MP3 file that's saved from your drive. When you add it to your screen, you'll see right here, like I have on mine, that when I hit that file button, I have a audio file waiting for me, an interview of a city council person. I can click on that. Of course, I could import movies or pictures too, but I'm choosing the audio here. And when I click the open button, it'll add to my page. Now, another shout out that's important when we're thinking about high school and English language classrooms is another free ebook created by a fellow book creator ambassador, Paul Hamilton. It's all about using Book Creator to develop thinking routines in the classroom. So he talks about thinking routines and the importance of using a tool like Book Creator to get kids to capture their thinking. It really increases their engagement and helps them process the information that they're learning about in the classroom. So I want to take you out right now to a live demo on how you can use a comics feature to create a sequencing diagram with your high school students. Now remember, if you want to follow along, you can also head over to app.bookcreator.com and open up that creation tool on an Aperture web browser. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and take you right out to show you Book Creator on my screen. Now I am already logged into Book Creator. I'm going to go ahead and click a new book. Now what I want to show you, remember, is to use the comics feature to create a sequencing diagram. So that means when I come here to choose a book shape, I'm not going to choose my normal landscape. I'm going to go ahead and choose the landscape with comic features enabled. Now, if you haven't used this on Chrome before, it is awesome. It allows you to create comic books right here. And now high school students love reading graphic novels. Many of them enjoy this genre. So using comics to work on capturing thinking routines, processes, and sequencing in general is a great option for high school. So if you go ahead and hit the plus sign, here's where you're going to choose panels. Now, panels can help us set things up in sequence for students, whether it's a first, then, a next, finally, or it's having them follow a particular thinking routine that you've set up. I'm going to go ahead and choose the 4 here on this page. Now, if you haven't visited Book Creator recently, if I click here on the back here and I hit the plus sign, you'll see that I have a lot of different things I can go ahead and add to the page, including speech bubbles, thought, text, captions. For today, I'm going to go ahead and hit the text and choose the caption button. This is where I can go ahead and use some signal words that might connect to a thinking routine or to a sequencing activity in general. So I might just start with my first prompt here, which is going to be first. I have my caption right here, just like I would normally see it in a traditional comic book. I'm going to go ahead again and press add text caption. Then will be my next one here. And I'm going to go ahead and lock that in place there. Add another caption. Next, add that here on the page. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit my text button here and go ahead and add finally. And I'm going to finish up this sequencing piece. So you might have students go through steps for a science experiment or lab safety in the science classroom. You might have them talk about the different things that they notice in a document that's a primary source document in the social studies classroom, or in the English language arts classroom, our focus for this particular piece, you might have students retell a snippet, capture and vignette as a writer within a comic book feature too. If I hit the I button and you haven't used Book Creator recently, you might not know that they have a whole bunch of new backgrounds. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one on the back. When I click here, I can either snap a picture or I can take a picture here, or take a picture, excuse me, or upload a picture using the same import button as before and bring it in here. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to go ahead and sign in with app.bookcreator.com. Make sure to sign in as a teacher. So you're going to want to open up your Chrome web browser, head to app.bookcreator.com, and sign in as a teacher. Once you're in there, I want you to go through the same steps that I did. Create a new comic book and try adding some text, some images, or even an audio recording to your page. While you do that, I'm going to check to see if any questions came in, but I want to give you a chance to try this out live together today. All right, awesome. So you should have gone and hit that new book button, chose the comic book background, and then you can choose some panels if you want to, but we'll talk about adding text, images, and more to your page. Awesome. So if you haven't already, hit that plus sign, add some text and images to your page, and then I'm going to go ahead and move us forward. Awesome. All right. So remember, when we are thinking about this special comic feature, you're going to want to make sure to choose that comic option from the get-go, right from the beginning. And that way you'll have access to those panels and special comic features. If you have any questions as you're playing around, don't be afraid. Put it there in the question box and I'll make sure to address it. Now let's keep moving forward. In the science classroom, you might have students in high school that take part in AP classes, that you want to have some clear differentiation in terms of the type of tasks that you set for them. You might have students take part in project-based learning environment, or you might have students creating traditional lab reports, and you want them to take all of those same features and bring in some multimedia interactive components with Book Creator. So in the science classroom, there's lots of different things that students might be creating. And I want to talk about transforming Google Slides and how you can app smash and make a connection with Book Creator. So Google Slides are really popular in high school. It's a collaborative tool, a presentation tool, something that you may want to have students work on to create a slide-based presentation. Well, that's great. That's wonderful, right? They can create a presentation where they talk about what they've done to their classmates, right, live in real time. But you can also have them transform their Google Slides into an ebook. All you have to do is open up Google Slides and hit File at the very top. Then when you go to download as, you can download, and when I say you, it would be your students, right? They would go through those steps. You would show them these steps. You would show them how to click on the download as JPEG image, and that downloads each of their slides, each individual slide as a JPEG or picture image. So that means when they open up Book Creator, they can hit the plus sign and import each slide onto a different page. Then they can record their voice sharing what they talked about during their live presentation. Now, this is a great way for high school students to capture their presentation or practice their presentation before they actually give it. Whether they do it before or after a live presentation to a group, they now have a product that will last forever. They can share with whoever, including a teacher that they're working with the next year, an application for a project or special grant that they want to be a part of, lots and lots of options. In Michael Hernandez's book, All About Using Book Creator in the Science Classroom, he gives even more ideas for taking lab reports, with a shout out to Julie Wilcott, another passionate educator who is passionate about using open-ended creation tools like Book Creator in the classroom. Remember, that bit.ly slash Book Creator High will take you straight to that book as well. In the math classroom, Book Creator in a high school environment can be really powerful. You can have students make cross-curricular connections, capture video reflections, or take part in even more app smashing. So in the book that I mentioned earlier, um, Michael Hernandez shares a story from Kathy Yanka, all about app smashing, bringing in different tools into a page in Book Creator. So that means importing a video file or tutorial, reflections, screencasts, you name it. So if you have students talking about their math experiences, they can do this with a video recording, like a testimonial. They can make a Khan Academy style video in another tool and import it and add it to their page, along with a snapshot of their work sketched out on paper or in another digital tool, bringing it all together in a math journal that captures their progress over the course of the school year. Now, in the social studies classroom, you might have students transform document-based questions, research report, or biographies that they work on into different types of ebooks. So it really comes down to what your task is or what your area of focus is in a particular subject area. So on Book Creator's blog, and I put a link to it down there at the bottom, Dominic Trainer shares some ways that he has used the Book Creator app, which works perfectly on Chrome for a similar type of activity, to explore civic engagement with his students. So a call to action, connection to social studies goals within the civics realm. You might also find some primary source document resources to share with students, like the National Archives full of primary sources that students can find, locate, add citations to, and bring into their book creator creation. You could also go to a spot like Docs Teach, also from the National Archives, full of images that you can add to a student book with citations, of course, and have students take part in this type of research for their final product. Now, if you have students bringing in research materials, we know in high school how important it is for kids to cite their work and give credit. You can use a tool like EasyBib to help students create citations. Of course, it's not just about plugging in the information, but about figuring out the best way to give credit to a source. EasyBib's a great resource for helping kids understand citations and try them out on their own. Now, I want you to try something out in a Book Creator. We've talked about adding some different features to the page. I'd love for you to go on now and add some text to your page. You saw me do it when I was working in Book Creator, adding captions to my different cells within my comic book page. Go ahead and hit the plus sign and now try adding some text to your page. Maybe it's a citation, maybe it's a favorite type of resource that you want to add so you don't forget it. Go ahead and add text to your page, change the size, the alignment, you name it. As you add some text to your page, I'll check to see if any questions have come in. Awesome. So go ahead and hit that plus sign to add text to your page. As you're changing up the size, alignment on the page or the font on colors on the page, I'm going to go ahead and keep moving through to share a couple more resources with you. If you are looking for support in a specific content area, maybe it's foreign languages, arts and theater, or different electives, use Book Creator in whatever way you want. It's a customizable tool we've talked about today to address different needs. You can use some of the brand new backgrounds to help bring a cohesive story together. Perhaps you're working in an arts classroom and you want students to capture media from traditional experiences, like these snapshots of someone working on a pottery wheel. They can document their journey exploring something new by capturing photos and bringing them right into Book Creator on the page. If you have an elective like computer science, this might be something where you have students create a book just like Ian Simpson's example here, which you can find on Book Creator's blog, where there are tutorials that seem familiar, right? Just like Khan Academy, with text, instructions, as well as specific steps to follow. So there's so many ways you can connect this to electives in different content areas, whether it's adding screencasts, tutorials, extra information, and having students create something that can be a how-to guide for someone who's interested in jumping into a particular subject area. So one last try it for you today. We've talked about adding different media. I talked about sound and narration and doing different things. Go ahead and use that plus sign on your page. Try recording your voice and adding audio to your page. So try adding an audio recording to your page, and I'll peek to see what questions have come through at the same time. All right. So let's see, a couple questions came through. Ruth asked about different fonts. Yep, you're going to want to tap on your text so that it has a blue box around it, and then you'll hit the eye inspector button and you can choose from all different types of fonts. Lana asked about limits to file sizes or pages. I've asked the folks at Book Creator about this a lot, and you can make an endless number of pages within their books. Of course, if you have a lot of media, like lots of long recordings or long audio recordings, it might be something where it takes a little bit longer to load, or if you download it as an EPUB, it becomes kind of an enormous file. So you may want students to create different portfolios that spotlight something that they've accomplished in different ways that they explore topics for different subject areas too. Awesome. So let's keep moving. If you are having students prepare for college and careers, they can use Book Creator as part of their college application. They can share it during, before, or after a job interview, and they can capture some of their high school work experience to help them show off what they've done, whether they are going to a trade school, heading off to traditional 2 or 4 year college, or they are jumping right into the job market. They can use a tool like this to show off what they've done with more than just a resume, with lots of media pulled together. Now, if you are interested in getting started with Book Creator in your classroom, Book Creator allows you to have students make 40 books in your one teacher library totally for free. Now you can pay $60 or $120 for upgrades if you want students to make lots of books with you this school year. You're servicing a wide range of students. And this is like big news. Book Creator also has a back to school special offer. I haven't shared this in any of the other webinars. So if you're joining us tonight, you're definitely in for a treat. I mean, you can save a crazy amount of money at your school with the special the very special Book Creator back to school offer. It's just under $1,000 for a 1 year subscription for your whole school. Like, really wild. So you'll definitely want to check out their website. You can always send me a message too if you're ready to jump into this particular special offer. Super duper exciting. So definitely something to consider. Let's go ahead and peek to see if there's any more questions before we finish up today. A question came in about putting buttons over hyperlinks to YouTube. So you can actually put links like on top of shapes if you want to. That's a nice way to create a button for someone to click on it and go to something that is hosted online. So a book can be any number of pages for it to qualify as a book. You'll just want to make sure it has a cover and at least one page following it too. So that's, just depends on the length of the book that you make. So a couple more things, and if I didn't get to your question, you could always shoot an email my way and I'll make sure to get you an answer. Remember, this is the last one. Summer's over now already. It's back to school, and Book Creator Summer Webinar Series have wrapped up. I'm so excited that so many of you have joined us for almost all of the webinars. It's so wild and wonderful to see so many familiar faces as we've moved through the Book Creator Webinar Series this summer. But don't worry, if this is the very first one you've caught, you can watch all of them at bookcreator.com/webinars or on Book Creators YouTube channel. Don't forget, all of those free books I mentioned and a whole bunch more are available at bookcreator.com/books, ready for you to download. And if you want to stay connected this year, join in on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/bookcreator is where you can join in the conversation. I know I'm always peeking in and posting on that Facebook group, and of course on Twitter at BookCreatorApp, hashtag Book Creator, to share all of the wonderful things your students create with Book Creator this year. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll post this recording soon so you can re-watch and share with your friends and colleagues. Have a great rest of your day and fantastic end of your summer.